Hello everyone and welcome to Blank First Page. My name is Lucas. In this video I'm going to be doing my gear of the year for 2023. I'm jumping on the end of the year video bandwagon. This is not going to be any particular review. I'm just going to take you through all the stationery items that I used this year. There's something for everyone here: notebooks, pencils, mechanical pencils, fountain pens, pens, ink, sharpeners. This is basically a walkthrough of everything that I wrote on and everything that I wrote with. And we start, of course, with the most important item, which is my field notes. I used 10 of them this year. It's about one every 6 weeks, and that is pretty much what I've averaged since I started using them. So these are the 10 I used. Started at number 93, and I'm finishing the year at 102. So this year I crossed the 100 field note threshold, and I've been also using field notes now for 10 years. I'm going to do a separate video on that milestone because it's the one habit I think that I've kept the longest in my life, so I think it's worth documenting. But I just use them, as I always do, day to day. Of all of them, I enjoyed using this one the most. This is one of the quarterly editions from this year. It's basically the standard craft version with a layer of color on the outside. Nothing better than the simple, thinner cover field notes. It is the ultimate everyday carry. There is something special about the way these notebooks wear in. There's the scars and the story of the day-to-day in each one of these notebooks in a very real and tangible way. And that is why I love these pocket notebooks so much. Then I've got my work notebooks, and this is in order here of what I used. I had a moleskin, nothing of note there. And then I have these 3 notebooks that I used in the second half of the year when I had my new job. The Kunizawa notebooks are quite a high-end notebook. The writing experience of any type of writing instrument on these notebooks is great. And starting a new job was a sort of a special occasion, so I brought out a Kunizawa to mark that. Highly recommend Kunizawa in general if you're looking for quality notebooks, although they are on the pricier end. This notebook you'll remember from my last video about planners. It's the Stalogy. I use this in a reporter style as my work notebook. I did only write on one side of it because it is quite thick and I wanted to get through it. And then as a reaction to this thick notebook, my next and last one for the year was a Muji standard A5, which is from my Portugal trip. Typical Muji, low price, high quality. I pretty much wrote in this with every single one of my writing instruments. Pencils, pens, fountain pens, and every single one worked well. No feathering, no bleeding. Highly recommend Muji for value for money. I honestly think nothing beats this, and they're great kind of everyday workhorse notebooks. One of the nice things again about doing a video like this or just going through your notebooks kind of looking back is you see some of the spills and the times I've used this as a coaster. Those kind of things trigger memories of using the notebook and therefore memories of what happened in the year. I've mentioned this a few times. It's kind of like looking through a photo album or scrolling through the photos on your phone, but in a much more tactile way. You still access those memories just in a different way. That is the beauty of notebooks. Then I have a couple more. They just happen to be both Muji notebooks that I used for other personal projects. My investing notebook was this one. This is just a standard Muji A5 ruled notebook. They sell these in packs of 5, I think. And then I used this one, which is a wire-bound notebook and has, I think, a higher quality inside paper, and it has this nice dot grid. It also has a elasticate band, so you can close it shut. And I used this for a project I'm working on, which is writing a field guidebook for my work. I have never written a book. I still haven't written a book. I didn't really know how to go about it. And I happened to be watching a Ryan Holiday video, I think, at the time this idea was ruminating. And he described how he writes books, which he uses a system of note cards that he organizes in boxes. So I thought I could take that same idea. I'd use the notebook as my box and just write on with sticky notes that would allow me to take quick notes and then assign them to the different parts of the book that I was working on. And the system has worked quite well. It's allowed me to organize like a lot of information, a lot of dispersed and separate information in a cohesive way, and to be flexible with it. So post-it, obviously I can move it around, I can replace them as the idea takes a better form. I'm still working on it, but it's a system I might do a video on when I've actually finished the project, and I can tell you that it is a worthwhile system to pursue. Inks for my fountain pens, I used two. I have been a user of Platinum Carbon Black ever since I heard about it, and this year Platinum launched the Ciao Kuro Extra Dark Ink. I have a video coming out about this and comparing the two, but pretty much the first half of the year I used my Platinum Carbon Black, and for the rest of the year I've been using the Ciao Kuro version. I have used pencils, and I have used one pencil sharpener to sharpen them all. And that is the Coom Automatic Long Point, which you might recognize. It looks very much like the Blackwing sharpener because they make the Blackwing sharpeners. I have both, but the reason I have this one is both sets of blades that I had in the Blackwing got quite dull, and I decided to try the Coom. I can definitely recommend it if you're looking for a sharpener, and the Coom is a lot cheaper than the Blackwing, and they are literally the same sharpener. For my writing instruments, I have added a few to my collection this year. So for my fountain pen, I used a TWSBI 580 ALR. It's a ultra reliable pen. It's been inked with both the platinum inks that I just showed. It is a well-engineered pen. It comes in all the different nib sizes. I've got a fine. People talk about Grail pens, and that world is quite huge, and you can go into various rabbit holes going there. But for my use, I want something that is reliable, that is high quality, and that is enjoyable to use, but that is not so precious necessarily, that I do use. This goes in and out of my briefcase, it goes traveling with me, it gets thrown around desks, and it just holds up. It's a fantastic fountain pen. For my pens, I use my Kaweco Lilliput small click pen. It's a pocket pen that I use when I go to grocery shopping. So 90% of this pen's use is literally just crossing out words, items on my grocery list. It's nice to have something of this quality that I enjoy using when I'm doing a boring task. The other pen that I've used a bit for work is this Karan Dash from my grandfather. It's an older one, I think maybe from the 60s or 70s. I have a modern version of it as well. The design hasn't changed from then, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A reliable mechanism, very simple pen, a great kind of note-taking pen. Then on the pencil side, I've obviously used the Blackwing Palomino Extra Firm Core. This pencil was even started last year, and I'm still using it. This year I also got into mechanical pencils, and I've upgraded to this Rotring 500 that I found that the best weight of the refill for me for the pressure that I exert on the paper, which I think I kind of press quite hard. I need a 0.7 to withstand some of that. I found the 0.5 millimeter refills were snapping a bit too frequently. And then I have another video coming out on this particular pen, which is a vintage mechanical pencil with an interesting mechanism that I got from a flea market here in the Netherlands. I won't give too much away, but it's got a very interesting shape, and it has replaced my Kaweco on a few occasions to the grocery store just because of its flat profile. It's a very good pocket pen. So there's my year in stationery. Let me know in the comments what you've used throughout the year. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sticking with the channel this whole year. I've got videos planned and recorded for next year, so there is going to be content coming out. It might be at a slower rate just because of the demands on my work. Thanks again very much for watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting. It's been great starting this channel this year, and most of all, I've enjoyed the interactions with you all. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.